Welcome back to FPL Banter Podcast. We're here with Mopey and Woodie.
Hello.
And Swappers.
Hey, how's it going?
How have you guys been this week?
It's been a funny week. It's been like a long game week, just like drip feeding.
Drip
feeding games.
It's been a bit exhausting. I mean, we even kind of almost recorded this podcast yesterday because we didn't forget, but we were kind of like, is anything going to happen?
Well, one member of this team forgot. I mean, we don't want to point fingers, but...
Woodie.
Well, it wasn't that I forget. I had other obligations, which then didn't pan out. So
flying a ruddy plane, were you?
So sort of. So it turns out we could actually do it today after the Leicester game, which
I think that was actually appropriate.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's good that we waited.
Yeah, I think it is because I think it's brought out a couple of valuable points. While we're on the subject, one, I think Iheanacho still scoring. Everyone's happy about that. But
can't get enough of it, can he?
But how he's still scoring is unfathomable because he's actually terrible. He's actually rubbish.
What?
He's rubbish.
I'm not accepting that.
The amount of chances
he's got a lethal left foot.
No way. He is like Jesus. That he's just in the right place at the right time, and then the ball just hits him. And goes in. Honestly,
I just could not disagree more.
He's a terrible footballer.
Of what?
Really?
Oh, he's trying to wind us up.
Yeah.
He is trying to wind us up. 8 goals in the past 6 games, is it?
Yeah.
And
it's random, and
it'll
dry up, and then we'll never see him again. You watch. Mark my words.
Yeah, I think there is something weird going on, but is it a way that they're playing him, or is it just you just think his luck and his luck's going to run out? Basically, that's what you're saying, Woody.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Vardy is getting older and older. And remember when he was just him up front and for a while, and then he got a dry spell. And I mean, he did all right last night, but I think he doesn't have many seasons left in him. So Leicester better be thinking of someone else. And I think he's someone else.
He can't carry a forward line. He doesn't have it about him. He's not.
He's no Joe Linton, is he, Woody?
No, exactly. Well, look what happened there. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, he's the Joe Linton to the Callum Wilson. But as you said, Vardy back on song, goal and assist, pretty good. And we were just chatting before the show started, before we started recording, and Alex brought up the fact that Castagna had disappeared and been away, and then and now all of a sudden he's back. And my observation on that is, one, it's the first time in a long time Leicester have had Soyuncu, Fofana, and Evans all at the back, fit and starting. They've had a makeshift defense basically since Castagna had that run of form at the start of the season. Since then, they've not only has he been injured, or they've had gaps at the back, or he's been playing left wing back and Pereira's been at the right. But now it's back to it's the way it should be. Castagna's right wing back, and they've got those 2 at the back. So I actually think moving forward, particularly over the next 4 fixtures, which are good fixtures, you'll see a lot more points from Leicester defensively because they look good. Yeah. They look solid.
And they've got really good. Yeah, they've got a great lineup of fixtures. I think. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in the team of the week, but there's a lot of teams that you need to keep in mind. I think going towards the end of the season.
I've got a strong suspicion that Woody brought in Castagna mainly because he told me.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I have, and he's in my draft as well. So
they're playing Crystal Palace this week, and I'm really, really hoping that Crystal Palace pull one out of the bag like they did against Chelsea, last minute goal just to wipe the clean sheet.
That's all right because he'll get a brace, so don't worry about
it. There have been a couple of red cards as well that are important. I think people would have Dawson. Dawson was the first one against Newcastle. He got a red, and as well Stones. What's happened to Stones? The wheels have fallen off a little bit. Time to get rid, I reckon.
Oh yeah, it's time to get rid. But I reckon from a Pep Guardiola point of view, I reckon that he did the right thing. Right? It's like he took one for the team, and they won 2-1. Results.
Yeah, true.
And also because they're playing in several.
It was contentious as well. Like a lot of the sort of the pundits, like it could have been a yellow. Even Dean Smith after the game was like, it should be a yellow because there wasn't any. It wasn't serious foul play. It was just a bit of a.
What are you talking about? It was high up. It was on his knee.
I'm just saying what other people have said.
Great mental. And then stupidly, I think Cash threw it all away, to be honest, unfortunately. I don't think they would have won, but I think it could have been a 2-2, and me being a United fan would have bloody loved it.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was hoping City would lose, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And also just so now, let's assume Grealish is still injured, and then Matty Cash is out, Trezeguet is out, so that their team's a little bit out of balance again. Versus at the start of the season when it was all solid and the same 11 every week. So just sort of, bear that in mind. And obviously West Brom, although they lost 3-0 and played terribly against Leicester, if they can pull up another performance like, if you've got Villa defenders, I don't know, maybe they'll just be a little bit out of shape.
Don't forget, Alex, don't forget to remind everyone, now is the time to get rid of all your Fulham players.
Although, Maja got a penalty, didn't he? They got a penalty, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. Lamina assist. Yeah, exactly.
And Arsenal, speaking of Arsenal versus Fulham, they lost Lacazette, and Nketiah comes on, scores a bloody goal. Aubameyang's out, Lacazette's out, so Nketiah might be a shot.
Do you think that's it? That they'll go with Nketiah or play off Pepe, or what do you reckon?
I think Pepe would be more a consideration for me rather than Nketiah, to be honest.
But you know what? Pepe he's a winger. I don't think he plays down the middle, to be honest.
And Nketiah is not bad, like this season and last season in Europa. Like, you know what I mean? Well, that's why, remember last season in FPL, he was one of the 4.5 bench warming forwards. He started this season at 5.5 because he had a strong finish to the end of last season. Like, he did all right. So I think could be a shout for the next couple of game weeks at least.
So who's dropped Fernandes?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This is what I wanted to bring up, is the fact that United right now are doing well, but it's not coming from the usual channels. I mean, Greenwood's has not been doing too badly, and Cavani's actually proved to be a good signing as well.
But
I'm quite happy with that.
I mean, that's the thing. Talking about... Sorry, go on.
With regards to getting... which players should you get in? Should you consider Greenie?
Well, I was just going to say, like, Greenwood, because thinking about it, Cavani doesn't have that many 90 minutes in him, particularly as they've still got Europa games coming up. And Martial is out. Martial is out. So, Greenwood's either going to be starting wide right or through the middle more often, I think. Like, he will get more MOTP. Yeah, so it's true. Not...
Just disclaimer there, MOTP is minutes on the pitch.
Would our trademark. But yeah, no, I don't have space for him in my team. And my brother nabbed him in the draft for this week when he only got 15 points for him. That was a good signing. But no, I think now would be a good time to get him. I was just knowing I had him at the start of the season and then he was rubbish.
Right. Well, so this week, Woodie's made the team. Oh, just before we go on to our team of the week, just want to get...
Let's talk about last week. How did we do last week?
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. So we came in with 78 points, very respectable, given that the average is 47. However, we played our bench boost, which was pointless, given that our bench boost brought us a total of 5 points.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that when there's like double game weeks and stuff coming up. I'm really not sure.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter, really. I mean, bench boost, that was just for a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh.
So we could call it 73. Still good.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a highest score of the week sort of thing one time.
One thing to highlight, though, I think, is that in our mini league we all captained Kane, and I believe it was your father again, Woody, who triple captained.
Yeah, which is still 12 points. Kind of not a bad shout, but it is the old curse of the triple captain again.
I know. I think we were all kind of relieved, even though we all had Kane as the captain. It's way better that this happened, because I also have Son, and I think you have Son as well, Woody. I think we all have Son on this podcast.
This is the thing with the mini leagues, is if there's any differential in the case of someone else playing their triple and you're not, then if that guy gets injured, then it actually suits you just fine.
Yeah.
But we were talking yesterday, and I think one of us came up with this theory, which is that obviously we know about the curse of the triple captain, but I think the bench boost is the opposite. The bench boost actually brings in a lot of points. So that's like it's almost underrated, It's that chip that the humble bench boost.
I mean, I was really unlucky with mine, first day of the season. I thought that was bold.
It's a weird thing to do. I mean, I understand your logic, but it's still weird.
Because you have no idea who's actually going to be how they're going to play, who they're fielding, all those kinds of things. But anyway, it was ballsy. It makes sense because you would think that all players that you'd select are fit and are ready to go for it. So
if you just stick with club captains,
club captain, Bellerin,
Mark
club
Noble,
captain.
Mark Noble, Aspilicueta, Wes Morgan.
But I think club captains actually do a lot of admin duties, like fine players if they're late for training and things like that.
Yeah, and they hand out the drinks and the drinking fines on the
exactly
Wednesday night, £1 a pint.
Yeah. So this week, like I said, it's been a little bit different in the sense that Woodie's made the team.
Because
Alex and I convinced...
because I thought I wasn't going to be here. I thought my contribution was going to be making the team, and then they can pull me apart.
Yeah.
Alex
and
and I
anyway.
convinced him it's a great team. And exactly, we're actually here now to destroy him. But you know what? It might actually be a decent team. So yeah, we're not here to literally just point the finger, even though that's quite fun. But we are open to changes, right, Woody? Are we done?
Absolutely, yeah. This is by no way a final team. So yeah, but
something I've noticed with you, Woody, is that your last sub tends to be the highest scoring. So already I see a problem with your team. But we'll come to that.
The bench is definitely open for debate. But I think these are the 15 players squad. But then I think the bench and the starters is open for debate.
Okay, well, I reckon Alex and I go through it together, bit off piece this time, and then you can just you can chime in.
Yeah, if you've got a point that you want to change, then I'll present my arguments on why I think we should keep, and then we'll make a decision.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, starting off with the goalkeeper. So Woody's gone he's gone for a 4-4-2. In goals, he started with Patricio on the field, and on the bench, inexplicably, Martinez against West Brom at home. Okay, what is going on there?
That is a bit weird.
One, as I just mentioned, with Matty Cash suspended, and also this was before last night's game where West Brom had won 2 games in a row and were playing really well. Now they look a bit. Well, they were rubbish last night, but the argument about Matty Cash still stands, and West Brom have a lot more to play for than Villa, and it's a West Midlands derby, so anything can happen. Whereas Wolves have been very tight at the back, and Burnley have looked extremely flat the last few weeks.
But see, I mean, we're leading. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Vidra and Chris Wood are all over it. They're scoring goals like they're going out of fashion kind of thing.
I don't think that's accurate, but Vidra.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but
the thing is Woody, with regards to, because on our first defender, straight after our goalkeeper, we've got Saiss anyway. So wouldn't it be best we've got Saiss who's back taking free kicks, obviously, as we all know. So that's a good choice. That's a reasonable choice. And Wolves,
I'm down with Saiss, but Alex, I think we can both agree on this. Martinez starting, yeah.
The only thing I'll say about I see your logic of spreading it about, but on the week where we played, I don't know if we did it in the team, but in the free hit on the blank game week where Brighton played Newcastle, I said put 3 Brighton defenders in, and we got 18. I think we got 20 points because we got 2 BPs. But if you're pretty sure there's going to be a cleaning, there's nothing wrong with loading it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but you also refused to put Dallas in when he got that 17 pointer. You were no.
That was not me. That was a mutual. That was all 3 of us. But I'm happy with that. Martinez, Patricio's touch and go between the 2 of them. Both got good fixtures, both good goalkeepers, and probably be a cleanie. But
right. So the giveaway was that Saiss is the first defender, and I think I'm happy with that. I can't really argue with that. I think that's
good.
However, weirdly, there's sometimes a bit of rotation in the Wolves defense. So my suggestion would be maybe get a backup Wolves defender, like, your 8 Nouris, your Semedos, something, and stick them on the bench. We can kind of talk about that later, I guess. Then Trent Alexander-Arnold, bit of a no-brainer this week.
Back in form. Everyone's bought him. I know Eric has.
Yeah.
Alex, have you?
No, I've done Salah
on the Trent train.
I had a big discussion about Eric with Eric about this, because I'm not a massive fan of Salah, because when I watch him play, he doesn't get on the ball enough. He's not Like Mane for me is a lot more energetic. He's trying a lot more. I find from what I've observed.
Yep.
But the problem is that Salah's been rested. So and they're not playing any games anytime soon apart from Premier League. So it makes sense to bring him in. It's just I don't think if he doesn't deliver, I'm going to use my wild card soon, and then he might go during the wild card.
Yeah. I saw a good point today on Twitter about, and I guess it affects Mane and Salah in terms of their rotation is obviously Ramadan, and the fact that they'll each have lower energy levels because they're fasting. I don't know if you'll see them rotate during. I mean, I don't know how long's left. I don't know the dates this year.
I read that Premier League players don't fast and they're allowed to do that.
Well,
I heard that
apparently,
if you're an elite sportsman.
Yeah, apparently Salah doesn't. I don't know about Mane, but apparently the reason Fofana came off after 60 minutes yesterday was because he's fasting, so he didn't have much energy to carry on.
Okay,
but that's
crazy. That is crazy.
I don't know if that affects.
That is actually a good point, Woody. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, it will last. It started on the 12th of April, so it will last around till the 12th of May, until mid-May, basically. That's when it will end.
A couple more weeks.
Okay, okay. So we got Saïd, Trent. Next one is
Dunk.
bloody Lewis Dunk.
Dunk.
I mean, honestly, I did a bit of reviewing his points for the season, and honestly, I've got him up now. It is ridiculous.
He's actually it's incredible, isn't it?
It is ridiculous. I mean, you look at these points. He's just a BP magnet.
Yeah.
He scores goals every now and again. He
takes
shows
free
up.
kicks every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, and I remember that free kick that was disallowed that he scored as well.
Yeah, so good. Was that Liverpool?
I mean, realistically, he should have been in our team since day one. I mean,
yeah.
It's crazy. He's. I mean, now that I'm saying that, he's going to be terrible.
What was his starting? Anyway. Was he 5.5 or 5 at the start of the season?
He was right.
Tick.
He started at 5.
Yeah, so
and he's back at 5. So he dipped weirdly, even though his form has been amazing.
But in terms of the statistics, 25 points per million. I mean, he's already pretty much there. So yeah, he would have been a keeper for the season, and he got a good return out of him.
And then we move on to our fourth defender. Surprise. Hey! It's Castagna. So he shows up once after like 12 weeks of blanks.
No, he didn't.
Get him in.
He hasn't just shown up once. He's always been good. But, you know, he was man of the match last night. And not just my man of the match, he was the other commentator's man of the match as well.
Do you have your own man of the match? Do you discuss this with your wife?
I do. Yeah, I have a little award. Yeah, I mean, he also got the assist. He hit the post. He was involved in everything. He was, and now there is the risk of a bit of rotation with the FA Cup final and stuff coming up that maybe he'll rest him and he'll play Pereira.
But that's in a while, though.
It is in a while, and they've got no other fixtures, and it played Thursday, playing again Monday, so they've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, plenty of rest. And honestly, if Brendan Rodgers doesn't keep that same back 5, he's a muppet because it worked. They look solid. Thomas on the left and Castagna on the right. You know, if he plays around with it like he had to in the past because of injuries, it might be disaster. So I'm banking that he'll start and he'll be good again.
Okay.
And then our bench.
What do you think, Alex? Are you down with that Castagna? I want to take it away from him, but I think it's legit.
Well, who would you put instead? This is the thing. Like, who would you replace him with? That's the question, right? Like, you could put Dallas instead. They're playing United. It's true. It's probably better that he's on the bench, which is Woody's bench.
Remember,
right now.
Dallas said, "Don't bench me, mate." So,
but then, he said that, and how did he do in the last game? Did nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he didn't do anything.
He was no Ryan Fraser.
Do you know what? I see 3 Leicester players, and I think I'm only going to give you 2 of them. So you're going to have to think about who you like most or least.
All right.
In this case.
Well, number 1 sub, I'd rather have him, or even our number 2 sub than the one in midfield.
Okay. Well, as Alex pointed out, our defender on the bench is Dallas, and he's playing United at home. But you know what? United concede, and it could be an open game. So I don't know. Do you play Dallas?
Well, this is the thing. If you weren't going to go Castagna, because I think all the other defenders make sense, right? If you're not going to play Castagna, even though he's kind of... Who would you get? You wouldn't want to get a City defender because they're not playing. You wouldn't want to get Another Liverpool, you wouldn't get Robertson, no. Cresswell is still injured. I still believe he's still injured.
And it's Chelsea, so that's a tough fixture.
Yeah. So I don't mind Castagna.
Yeah.
But again, as you said, we can discuss with regards to the bench. I think it's best for us to kind of go through the team and then just because otherwise people don't understand what we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
do the whole team
right now,
and then we'll pick it apart.
So then midfield we have Jota, Salah, who are obviously playing Newcastle, and then Trossard, Maddison, and Mount on the bench. And then we have up front, we have Watkins, Iheanacho, and Welbeck on the bench. So Watkins, Iheanacho on the pitch, and Welbeck is on the bench. So that's kind of the team. So I would agree. See, now my question is, would you put Welbeck on because they're playing Sheffield United? Or is it Mopey who keeps on starting? This is the thing. They haven't been starting.
Yeah, there is a bit of rotation there. That's the issue.
I mean, Welbeck seems pretty nailed right now.
Yeah. That's because Mopey got rested against Chelsea. He came on about 60 minutes for Welbeck, I think it was. So, but Potter, he sets up his team for the opposition. So against Sheffield United, I imagine he's going to go after goals. So I have a feeling you'll see Trossard behind Welbeck and Mopey.
Okay, and that's why you've got Trossard there as well, because you reckon he's going on the field playing because he's going to be all over it. He's kind of, he hasn't delivered recently, right, Trossard, but he seems to be getting closer and closer to goal. So he's got a goal in him, presumably coming in.
He's always a threat, and the last time we took a gamble and played him, he got like 17 points or something. So I just think like he's still in form. He's still getting chances. They've just had tough fixtures. I just think this is the one they're going to want to put to bed and bring up their goal difference. So they're going to go for it.
And I'm guessing the reason why you have Mount on the bench, because that's a crime, is because you don't think that Jota or Salah will start. As in, like, is it a backup just in case Jota won't play?
Well, it's all about having a deep bench because we're nowhere near the 100 mil budget. These are just the players I think are going to get the most points this week. Now, if you're only going to give me 2 Leicester players, then I would say put in Mount for Maddison.
For Maddison?
Yeah. Well, it's just because Maddison. Yeah, well, it's just he's just come back from injury and he looked off it last night. Like he had a couple of shots on goal, but he wasn't sharp. He wasn't. It's going to take him a little while to get back up to speed, I think. Whereas Mount, this is what I think playing every game for eternity.
This is what I think we should do, Eric. I think we should put Mount on for Maddison and then Welbeck on for Castagna.
Oh my God, that's
give him just a Leicester.
Oh
my
God,
give him just one Leicester.
just Iheanacho. Oh my God.
Maddison didn't really show up last night.
No.
Yeah, so Mount for Maddison makes sense. That's fine. But I kind of feel
I want Dallas on there.
What?
Okay, Alex.
Alex, you get to do the Woodie special. 5 defenders.
Yeah. So Alex, you pick one of the bench, and I'll pick one, and we'll just. So I'm taking Dallas, and I'm putting him on for Castagna.
Oh my God, he's done it. He's going to regret that. He's going to regret it.
And then Alex, you pick one. You can bring Castagna back on if you want.
Oh, what am I going to do? I really like Mount, so I think it will have to be Mount. Yeah, but I don't know. See, I think we're putting too much. I'd rather put Welbeck on rather than Trossard, personally.
Wow. Really? All right.
I'm into it. Let's do it. We have robbed Woodie of his team. Robbed him.
Tell you what, if we had the bench boost, I would play it this week.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. This week would be a good time to use it. Okay.
Hey, Watkins seems to have survived this team quite well. So, what's the reasoning behind that?
Well,
West
it's
Brom,
just because Watkins he just always pops up with the goal or assist. Like he's pretty consistent. Like he doesn't haul. And yeah, it's just because it's West Brom and they're just pretty leaky. I can see him. He's not going to haul, but I can see him getting something.
That is your choice, then, Woody. I think we've got to give him something.
Give you one. Okay, Woody. Now you've got a choice to put on one more sub.
But
yeah, Castagna for Watkins. I would suggest.
Can I just take Dallas off again?
You can.
No, it's fine. No. I picked the team. You guys tweak it. That's fine. I'm happy with what you've done.
Okay. But I would suggest putting Castagna on for Watkins.
Oh, would you now?
No. I'm not having that. West Brom at home. Get out, mate.
All right.
Having none of it.
All right.
Okay, so
now we've got
subs.
2 Villa and 1 Leicester. All right.
Okay, who are we captaining now?
Woody is seething. I can hear it in his voice. We've got 2 Villa now.
Dripping.
All right.
Dripping with fury.
Fine.
against one of the bottom teams of the league. Yes.
Fine.
All right.
Fine.
Bench order. Yeah. I think this is good. I think Castagna, Trossard, Madison. I think that makes sense.
Done. Jimmy
and
done.
Captain.
I think as it is. I think Mo's gonna show.
Yeah.
And then Vicey and Yacho. I think it's safe.
Yeah, I think that's good. So just to recap the team very quickly, Woody, do you want to do the honors of how we butchered your
how
team?
you absolutely destroyed, and now this Frankenstein's monster of a team. There's 4-3-3 now. I haven't even gotten the same formation out of it. Okay, so it's Martinez, and then the back 4 is Saiz, Trent, Donk, and Dallas. Jota is actually Jota, Salah, Mount, it's the midfield, and then Welbeck, Watkins, and Iheanacho up front. I mean, that's still a pretty good team.
Part of me has made these subs just to wind you up because I actually think we had a good team. But anyway, I'm going with it. I'm owning my decision.
You just couldn't let me have the just got to change it. Just got to.
No, but you know what? I'll commend you for giving us a nice bench to play around with because I feel good about the team in general.
Okay.
And there's still money in the bank. So, and there's money in the bank as well. So it's an interesting one. Well done, Woody. Thank you very much for your contribution. I appreciate it.
Thanks. You're welcome. Thanks for ruining it for everyone.
So let's have a little chat about the big transfers in this week. So the ones that we haven't talked about. J-Links. So he hasn't made an appearance, even though... Woody, would you like to know who's got the highest goal per minute, or FPL point per minute? Can you take a wild guess?
Well, presumably,
I'm not going to say not J-Links because it's too obvious. Greenwood.
It is J-Links.
Oh, okay,
it's J-Links. Of course, it's J-Links. Look at him.
You made that really obvious.
Every game, he has brought back returns bar 1.
Yeah,
he's played.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying
that is a crazy return.
I'm just saying Chelsea. Pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty tight at the back. Yeah,
they're not going to give much away.
The same Chelsea that West Brom beat 5-2.
Yeah. But I mean, that was an anomaly.
Sorry, I was a bit confused there.
Anomaly.
Now,
here's one for you guys, Rashford. Because this is what I'm thinking for my wild card. I'm thinking of getting rid of Fernandes potentially. I know risky, but differential, and get Rashford in.
Risky.
Or Greenwood. What do you reckon, Rashford, Greenwood?
I mean, what funds does it free up? The difference, like if you'd got Greenwood instead of Rashford, who could you get as well that you couldn't before? Because I like them both. I think Rashford's definitely more nailed, but as you mentioned before in another pod, I think, or maybe just to us, he seems to be carrying a lot of knocks, whereas Greenwood's fresh. He obviously sort of learned his lesson from the whole England quarantine fiasco, and he's done his time, and now he's Ole, he's kept him on the bench and stuff. I mean, he's sort of breaking his way forward now, and he's fit, and he's had an easy season fatigue wise, and I think because Martial's out and Cavani's 50, like I said before, you're going to see more of him, but Rashford is a more experienced head, so I don't think that's helped you at all, has it?
Not really. Thanks very much. Thanks for trying.
If it was me, because I love Greenwood and I like a punt, I would go Greenwood.
Yeah, true. But if you're trying to be not too punty and a bit safe, you get Rashford. But it's a lot of money, right? There's a big difference in cash there.
Yeah,
so it depends. I guess it will depend on my cash situation, really.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
What about Vardy? Is he back, or is he just a one-hit wonder?
Well, I'll tell you what. He was the big trend once Kane's injury was announced. A lot of people jumped on the Vardy train. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Interesting.
But don't forget, I mean, dropping Spurs is a bit risky considering their fixtures. I mean, they've got a blank. If you can sustain that blank, they've got Sheffield United at home, Leeds high scoring, Wolves at home. They're not bad fixtures what they have, and they'll be fighting for top 4. I mean. To be fair, so will Leicester, but I don't know. Kane has definitely been more reliable this season than Vardy. Just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were late to the Kane party and you wouldn't lose any cash by transferring out and in, then getting in Vardy for a couple of weeks, waiting to see how Kane's ankle is, and then bring him back.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this is the thing. I think a lot of people are waiting to see at this cup final what's going to happen, and I could see him play and get injured again.
Yeah.
You know, and so
rushing him in.
Yeah, because if he's even sort of 10% fit, they're going to play him, right? Because they have to win. This is their only chance at a trophy this season. So, there's going to be, I think, a lot will become apparent. And same for KDB. Will he play? Is he back? You know, so I think a lot will become apparent. And if KDB plays and he sort of smashes it and he's sort of back, then are people going to bring him back in? I don't know. You know, so I think this weekend will actually reveal a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Like in terms of the FA Cup final, I mean, obviously because City pretty comfortable in the league, but they really want the Champions League, right? So do you think the FA Cup's a bit of a second fiddle in terms of picking the team and resting people? Like, do you think they'll just be like, we're just going to rest them because we've got PSG coming up?
I think City are going to try and win everything. I honestly do. So, and as you see, they're running players into the ground, like with they did it with KDB. I think they played them too much.
Sorry, I said FA Cup final. I meant Carabao Cup final.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that he's going all out now. So let's see. But anyway, well, so that is the podcast for this week. If it's not already blaringly obvious, make sure that you account for the blanks. And also, word of warning, there are some double game weeks coming up for Aston Villa and Everton that haven't been announced yet. So maybe you can start planning for that if you're feeling a little bit ballsy. But otherwise, that's it from us. Anything to add, guys?
Don't forget, kickoff is tonight. It's not Saturday. It's Friday night fixture.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Don't forget your teams.
Yeah, Arsenal, Everton, and Ketia. Okay, all right. Well, we'll be back next week.
Actually, well, there you go. Something you just mentioned there. DCL, is he back?
Yeah, he is. But apparently, from what I understood, from what I read,
but he's supposed to be back. But he could play like 20 minutes, and also he's been out of form. So
not on your radar.
No. Not on my radar.
I would wait to see. I would wait to see what he does this game week.
Just because, as Eric mentioned, with the double game week and stuff coming up, you know. Maybe loading if you don't have a free hit or a wild card. Everton and Villa players, so get your Watkinses and your Sigurdssons and your DCLs.
You're just banging on about Sigurdsson because he got 15 points.
He did, but he was my third sub in the draft, and I banked with Pep rotations. I got 3 City players. I was like, 2 of them won't play. At least 2 of them won't play. There's a chance Siggy will come on. They all played. Stonesy got sent off. Diaz didn't keep it clean. Ian Myers did nothing. Livid.
All right, guys. Well, we will catch you next week, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
All right.
See ya.